Oh,
Live.
yay! Hi, everybody, and welcome to Scandal Chat. Woo, 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 woo. It's Sunday, right? I know we normally chat on Saturday, but I had to work yesterday, people, because they were offering overtime, so I had to take full advantage of that. But we're here today, and we're going to be talking about this week's episode, which was called No Sun on the Horizon. And yeah, we'll be talking about all of the craziness. Right now, it's just me and Sandra today. We've got a few other ladies who've been trying to pop in, so, we might get joined by some other people later. But, for right now, it'll just be me and her. And she knows about, the inner workings of people's minds. So I'm excited to hear what she has to say about this episode. As always, you guys, don't forget to leave your comments and your questions down in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. Or you can tweet me. My Twitter name is @WatchWithPoppy, and we'll be kind of answering your questions, throwing out your theories and thoughts on this episode as well as we get talking. So, Sandra, I'm going to let you start. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, what I was noticing when I was watching the episode is that there was a lot of non-action being taken. Like, everybody was standing down. Did you notice that?
Okay.
Did you notice, like, they're always like doing something, fixing something, solving something, and all the way up until the end, let's do nothing. That was so
I didn't even
interesting.
think about that. Yeah.
It was so interesting to me because usually it's let's talk fast, let's move fast, let's solve stuff, let's fix stuff, and they were all saying no, let's do nothing, let's just let this play out, let's see what happens.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting thought. I thought, like the title of the episode, being No Sun on the Horizon, I feel like for the last couple of episodes, even since they've come back from their winter break, it has definitely felt like it's like one bad thing after the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I definitely feel like she's almost creating this atmosphere of, is there any hope? Are we ever going to be able to kind of, get beyond all of this stuff? And so then the name of the episode, was basically just like, no help is coming, basically. There's no hope, on the horizon, no sun on the horizon. So I just thought that was a little depressing. So I just thought that made me feel like, we're just even in for more and more kind of crazy stuff that's going to be happening, which, I'm all up for that.
Oh, me too. Me too, absolutely. My favorite scene from the week was definitely the Olit scene where, she's holding his face and talking to him about this is it, this is here, this is all we have. Vermont is not going to happen as much as we may want to think about that. This is it. And then before that, when she was telling him, this is the stuff that we've been keeping from you and protecting you from. This is it. So if you want the truth, here it is. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with the realities of all the things that we've been keeping from you and protecting you from so that you can be the president. And that was real.
Yeah.
Real.
I loved that scene too. Like that especially when she said that bit to him about, there is, this isn't about Vermont. Like, there is no Vermont. Like, this is where we're at now. Let's focus on that. I just thought that was like, I just thought interesting, because it's like Fitz as a character tends to be that kind of fantasy type of character where he's so looking to the future. But I think that's just him in general. You know what I mean? Like, he is looking to that point when, hey, I'm not going to be president and I can really have what I want. So I think he's holding on to that, almost at all times. And she's just kind of like, I can't live in the fantasy with you. Let's deal with what we have now. And I just thought that was, I think on the whole, like, many people in the world would, like, benefit from doing that in their own lives, like.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was really good.
I did too. When she found out what Cyrus had done covering up Sally's murder of, her husband, that just seemed to, like, tear into her heart and her soul,
Yeah.
She knew, I cannot deceive this man one more time. We won't make it. if he finds out I
Mm.
kept yet another big thing from him that could taint his presidency, because, I mean, talk about scandal. Geez, that's the scandal of all scandals. His vice president killed her husband. My God. I mean, they've done a lot of bad stuff on this show, and this is just right up there with the worst of it. And it sullies everything, you know? So...
Did you think, like, were you worried that she wasn't going to tell him? Like, because obviously,
I was
like, I talked
taking
about that in my
bad.
review. Like, this was a moment for her to, like,
Yes.
like, this is that moment when we're going to learn if you learn from your mistakes or not. Like, if you're going to be
Right.
honest, if what you said in Vermont, like, no, we're not going to lie to each other anymore. Like, if that's going to be real, this is that moment where you can either, hide it with Cyrus or you can tell the truth. So the whole time I was just like, please let her go tell him. Like, I do not want to do that again. So I was really excited when
Me
she told
too.
him. But then at the same time, you also got that he wanted the truth, but did he really?
No,
Like,
I don't think
like you were
so.
saying, that moment when she told him, this is it, like, you wanted the truth, here you go, and it's not pretty. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think the truth, as long as it's not so catastrophic.
Yeah.
But the real stuff,
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss. I think at times he's glad they've kept stuff from him. But he
I think
asked.
so too. The same time, you also got the I think we've got Deirdre jumping on.
Yeah, Dee Dee.
That moment when she told him, Deirdre, this is it. Like, you wanted the truth, here you go, and it's not pretty. So yeah, I think you're right. Can you turn the volume down on your, because we can hear the echo from your computer.
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
But the real stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let's give Deirdre a moment as she gets her headphones or something going on there.
But
yeah. Deirdre, can you hear me?
Yeah, Dee Dee.
Can you hear me?
Deirdre? Yeah, I can. Can you turn down or like put headphones on, because we can hear the echo from your computer.
Something on? Wait. Can you turn
the volume down on your, because we can hear that.
All right, let me just. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know. Google is messing me around, but anyway.
I know. Well, Google is messing the world around, really, is what Google is doing.
All right, anyway. Continue.
You're so funny. Oh, no. Join us, please. We were just talking about the lit scene in the Oval Office, that moment when Olivia tells Fitz what Cyrus did, and then, tells him that we need to live in the now.
Yeah.
What did you think about that scene?
I always said that Fitz is pretty much the woman and Olivia is pretty much the guy.
Yeah.
Because he has reactions like a woman for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He gets all, I know what I'm doing, kind of thing. And she always has this sort of manly reaction, very masculine about things, like not showing too much emotion, but, trying to be firm and, trying to bring Fitz back to reality. And they've always had that opposite role for me.
I love that, though, because I think you're right. Like, he's definitely so sensitive, and, like, I mean, he's definitely the woman in this relationship. But I love that. I love that their roles are reversed at times, Yeah. I mean, even in that scene, there was that moment where, like, she says something about, there is no Vermont, and he just gets this look on his face like he's going to cry, and he goes to turn away, and then she grabs his head, and it was just like, this is seriously like role reversal for real.
It is. But it's always been role reversal, and that's probably why I think so many women like Olivia Pope, or at least why we liked her in the beginning, is because she does have quite a strong role, and she's not a typical woman.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people like her as a character.
Yeah. That's very true. So we were talking about that. scene too, where Cyrus, where Olivia finds out what Cyrus and Melly did. What about you guys? What about that moment where she just like freaked out, like where she started laughing and couldn't stop laughing, and she's like laughing / crying as she realizes that basically everybody on the presidential ticket has killed someone, is murderers row,
Oh
as
yeah,
she
I
said.
thought that was funny.
I thought that was hilarious.
I always thought it was hilarious because I was laughing along with her. I mean, it was like, yeah, it is pretty funny. Everybody has murdered someone that's
Yeah.
that's on the ticket, and I think that's her reacting out of the sheer weirdness of the situation.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like, oh my God, it's something is going to happen again, just like it did last time. It's going to be absurd, and somehow I'm going to wind up in the middle of it. So it's almost like she can only laugh, because if she doesn't laugh, she will just cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like she's had quite enough too. Like that was sort of like a breaking point in a way.
Totally.
That this is it. I cannot do this anymore. And really, when she decided, I'm not going to do this and be dishonest with Fitz anymore, it all just sort of happened at the same time. She just
reading some of the comments that people are leaving. Because Kamara Harrington, she left a comment that said that too. That she basically had a mental breakdown. It was almost like she was having a little breakdown in his office. Let's talk about, you guys, let's talk about, I guess, the big thing from this episode, and let's talk about the ending. Let's just go ahead and skip to the end. Obviously, the big cliffhanger.
Yeah, but I wasn't
who got shot, right? And I wasn't, and Sandra and I were talking about that before we went on air, right? Because the preview made it seem like I was ready for something big, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a huge moment, OMG moment, and I was like disappointed. What'd you say?
I can't even see the previews. They never show the previews.
Oh, you can't. Well, they built it up.
See them,
They built it up to be like next week's episode is going to be like this huge it's going to be this huge scandal moment. And they're talking about the ending, and it was a cliffhanger, but I just was like, it wasn't all that huge. But
I was counting the minutes. Okay, when are they gonna off somebody? Because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Come on.
So who do you guys think it's gonna be? Who do you think it's gonna be? Who do you think that Jake's gonna shoot? David or James?
Okay, I have a couple of theories.
I think he should off both of them just to make it fun. But he has to give him a few words before he offs both of them, you see. But then I said, no, that would be too much fun, and I don't think Shonda would want to get rid of one of those characters. But I'm afraid they're going to off. It's going to be David.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I really hope not. I really want it to be James.
Well,
I know.
Well, actually, logically, it should be James. And you know why?
Yeah.
Because if you remember a couple of scenes before, you saw Cyrus saying, "Oh, I really, really love you. Like nobody, like a crazy person. I love you so." I mean, he was almost like he was like confessing something.
Yeah.
Then he went out for the rendezvous. So you could maybe think it was James.
Yeah.
And he knew that James was going to get killed.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
But wouldn't that be kind of this like crazy, horrible justice to some degree? Because Cyrus went to Jake to say, hey, you need to deal with this situation. I want you to kill Sally Langston. But then Jake ends up dealing with it in a different way and does what Cyrus wants, but that involves him killing Cyrus's husband. I mean, that would be this like horrible, horrible thing really for Cyrus.
I can tell you it would be a lot more interesting if they both got killed. But I'm not sure.
That's probably not so. I don't think so.
They won't do that.
Sandra, what were you saying? What's your theories that you were saying?
Okay, I have a couple. If someone actually gets shot, I think it's going to be David.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my pick. But I'm thinking that maybe somebody else gets on the scene and Jake takes off and actually no one gets shot. Because I haven't really heard of either one of those characters leaving the show. Like, I know they keep their contracts, private or whatever, but I haven't really heard of that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking neither one of them are going to get shot. But, okay, if one does, and it is David, he's not going to die. I think he's going to survive.
Yeah, that was my other question. Did you think they were going to die? Like, whoever gets shot, do you think they're actually going to kill them?
No, they need these characters to be foils, you know?
Yeah.
James is always, you know, what is that with Charlie Brown, and, you know, he's always, what is that, when he's about to kick the football,
Oh, yeah, and Lucy always pulls it away.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, James is the Lucy here, you know? He's always pulling the ball out right before.
I like that analogy.
Always right before. I mean, if I'm David, I don't trust another word out of this dude's mouth. Because he is always letting him down, you know? Always.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I could actually see her actually killing one or two of them off just to bring in someone else that we're not expecting to fuel the story a bit more. Because let's face it, David is going down the same road he went down in season 2. And that's just boring.
Yeah.
James is itching to get killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid. Every time he turns around, he's saying something stupid, he's doing something stupid. He's itching to get a bullet between the eyes, okay? You know, I don't know. You know, I would think Shonda could go out on a limb and kill 2 people just to bring on somebody interesting like Idris Elba to be the new love player.
Please, that would be awesome.
Oh my God.
I was wondering what was the point she was trying to make by showing us Jake do that? Was she trying to show us that? Like, I felt like that was supposed to have more of an impact than it did on me. Like, was she trying to say that, oh, Jake is all the way B613, or Jake is a bad guy? Like, what kind of message did you guys feel like?
Trying to tell us if he's a good guy or bad guy. I think, because if you remember, I think it was last week, you saw Jake when he got the papers, the briefcase with all the information and everything. From that moment on, he has changed. Yeah. It's almost like he's become aware of something that is very important to his role as head of this organization. And it's like he's taking it super serious. Yeah. He's suddenly become aware of the actual power that he actually has. You know, so I think that's more the thing than anything. I don't know how bad he is or how good he is. But yeah, he obviously realizes how much power he has, and he's going to use it to his fullest advantage.
I think he was trying desperately to not go to that dark place, to the dark side, and to completely lose himself in that position. Because, you know, that scene between him and Olivia where he's saying to her, let's run away, that scene.
Yeah.
I think that this is the moment where he makes that decision to just go all the way in. And it seems to have been because Olivia rejected him. They go together. She rejects him, and then he says, that's it, it's on. I'm all the way in. I am going to do this full force. And whatever happens, happens. And sort of like, you had a chance, you didn't take it. So now...
Yeah, I loved that moment, you know, like, because that scene between him and Olivia where I talked about that a lot in my review, that moment where he says to her basically, like, it's so jokingly at first, like, let's run away together, like, but you get that he really means it, and then that turns into the run away with me, like, save me, like, please. But Trisha's here. But I don't know, I loved that moment. So, but like I think that's so good what you just said, Sandra, because he didn't. I mean, she did reject him, and so, you know, she's not going to save him. And really, you know, should she? I guess is the big question. But
and Trisha's happy about that. Olivia rejected Jake. Olivia rejected Jake.
I'm happy with that too.
You know what, Jake haters? There's a lot of people I feel like that are starting to feel a little more sympathy for Jake. Trisha, do not even. I will mute you right now.
I'm not saying that I have love for the man, but I do not hate him. I love my show. There would be no conflict without Jake. But
Right.
he is not right.
That's true.
Yeah. Move on.
I hear you, Trisha. Move on.
What about the scene between him and Olivia, though? You know, the fact that she goes over there and she's upset and she wants to pretend, and then, you know, quickly pretending turns into, you know, realness as the two of them kiss. And that scene, I was like, okay, I'm not sure what, did they just kiss and then that was it? And then she left and they had a burger and some wine? I wasn't sure what else happened, but
I don't think they got the burgers and wine.
No, I think they did the real thing.
Yeah, I don't think they got to the burgers and wine.
Were they insinuating that they were going to have sex?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah.
For ratings, they did not show that, but yes, I do think they had sex.
You need to stop.
Well, you know,
Hey, I'm just speaking to
the mark because I'm sure she's seen how horribly people reacted to scenes with the two of them even kissing each other, much less in bed together.
Oh, I loved the kiss scene.
Burned up the internet.
Even though I was kind of like, Olivia, what are you doing? Hello, like get it together, sister. Obviously that was part of the cliffhanger last week because she
just
dropped
be
that
happy
bomb
with
to
the kiss, Poppy. Just be happy with the kiss.
Yeah, be happy with that.
I am. I thought it was nice. I mean, I'm down for a lips, you guys know that, but I don't mind Jake because I feel like Jake is genuine. He might be crazy, but poor Jake. Poor Jake.
Ain't nothing wrong with Jake.
Let me go over here and read some of the comments that people are leaving. What'd you say?
I said there's nothing wrong with Jake. Jake has one of the most powerful positions in the Republic. He all right?
Yeah.
He all right?
That's true. So true. So Kamara, over on the YouTube comments, Kamara Harrington says, why does Olivia have to save everybody? He's command. He should be trying to save people.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Kamara, I mean, that's a good point. I think he was just, like Sandra was saying, too, like he knew that he was getting to the point where he was going to have to make the decision of whether or not he was going to be, you know, command in a way that he hated or not.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know, he was getting to that point of decision, and so it was like, look, save me, like get me out of here, or I'm gonna do something that I'm gonna hate myself for. So I think it was almost just like, you know, the last grasp of a drowning man to some degree. Sarah Brock says Jake has no moral code now. Jake just has to do the job, basically. So again, you know, that he's kind of made that decision that he can't go back on. I think that's it. Oh, people were voting about who got shot. Sarah Brock said, I think it was James. Tallis Ferry says David. And Kamara Harrington's agreeing with you, Sandra. She says maybe it's neither one. Maybe the one who dies is Jake, which would be sad.
No, I don't think it's Jake. I think the way that was shot with him at the beginning with the monologue and ending with the monologue had him recruiting someone. And as I was discussing this on Thursday or Friday, with a friend of mine, you know, she suggested, because I was trying to think of who is he recruiting, and I think it's Cyrus.
Really?
I think Cyrus, and I'm pretty sure that James is the one that gets shot. It makes sense because the scene before then, when Cyrus says goodbye.
Exactly. That's what I had.
Sandra was saying that.
He knew that James was going to be assassinated. So, and it's not.
Or no, that was Deidre.
Oh yeah, Dee Dee said that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's who I hope it is, because
it makes sense.
the only reason I was leaning towards David is because there was that moment in the preview when Olivia is talking, and I just thought it sounded like something she would be saying to Abby, maybe, because obviously Abby would freak out. So that's why I was leaning towards that. I thought it might be David, but I could see it being James. And I was wondering about that too, Trisha. Those scenes with Jake in this episode, the opening and the closing, where he's sitting and he's talking about, you know, his childhood, and basically that the way he got recruited was because he didn't have anybody. You know,
Exactly.
He was, you know, that's the kind of people they recruit.
Yeah.
And so. Who would that be? I mean, if James gets shot, who would Cyrus have? I mean, he'd still have their baby, but he was never really, you know, invested in having the baby anyway. So.
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't even think about that though. That being a scene where he was actually, because at first I thought it was Quinn. Like, seriously, at the very end, I thought it was Quinn who was going to come out, and like I thought it was Jake talking to her, and that was a job that he was going to send her on, was to go and kill these people.
Right.
But let's talk about Quinn for a second, you guys. So obviously she's all into the B613 now. Let's talk about that, and the fact that she broke into OPA, into the least safe in the world. I mean, the safe that everyone can break into. And then also let's talk about the moment where she says, there was that moment where she had that little exchange with Jake about Olivia, and that whole kind of like, hey, did you got to watch out for her? Did she tell you were part of her family? And blah blah blah. Don't believe that. So obviously we get that Quinn is feeling really betrayed by Olivia as well. So I don't know. What did you guys think about Quinn in this episode?
Quinn is crazy.
Stone cold, heartless. Another one turning into the dark side, and just lost into B16, and just the transformation in her has been incredible. Scary. It's actually really scary. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think she's the thing that annoys me the most about her is that, as stone cold, harsh and crazy as she's becoming, she's still extremely naive.
Yeah.
She's walking around like she's packing, this, I can do this,
yeah.
I can do this. But I mean, come on. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, she was on what's his face's floor, on Huck's floor, getting her teeth pulled out of her head, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Woman is not prepared at all for what could be coming to her, and she's acting like she is.
Yeah, to me, she's the epitome of that statement. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, kind of thing.
Exactly.
You see her independence, and you see her, her skill is what is, I think, gotten her to this point. But I think Dee Dee's right in the aspect of emotionally she's not there, and I think we're going to see that. More, or explore that more. We'll see more of the emotional consequences when it comes to that. She's in search of a home, and B613 right now is the organization that's giving that to her. They're giving her purpose, and they're giving her what she wants, which is basically what she's been taught.
Yeah, but not only that, the whole time she was with Huck, it was like she saw nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When she saw him observing that family in the house, and and just all of the mental difficulty Huck has been having, and all the torture and the this and that, it's almost like she wasn't even paying attention to what was happening to him. She was so attracted by this idea of being able to kill people, by being able to sneak in the dark and do things, that she wasn't really looking at the full picture.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of it is her own fault, basically. To
a degree, she was searching. I mean, she was looking for purpose. For all intents and purposes, she had no family. Everything that she had thought was her life wasn't. I mean, just imagine waking up from that, and now you have to rebuild yourself. And here's someone who, who's given you a home and decided that they're going to show you a path.
Yeah.
And right now, she's just fulfilling that. She's trying to, her idea of what that is, she's trying to fulfill that. And right now, B613 is giving her that opportunity. Jake's giving her that opportunity now.
I think ultimately that is what she is looking for. She's looking for love and acceptance. And when she didn't get it from Huck, and she moved on to the next.
Exactly.
And she's mistaking all of the activities of this group, thinking that if she masters all of this stuff, that one of them is going to take her in and give her all of the,
she's trying to find fulfillment, and really, it's kind of the nature of the show right now. Everyone's trying to find where they fit in, and who are they with, and their purpose. So
that's right.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think she's not going to get what she wants. I think she's
no.
herself
she's not.
really messy stuff in a minute, because
Yeah, it's gonna get ugly
so
soon.
raring to get out there and kill someone. You can see that she's itching to kill. I mean, she pulled a gun on Olivia, for God's sakes. I mean,
Right.
like,
It was
does
comical.
Olivia really go around with a gun, you know?
Yeah.
And she pulled a gun.
Right.
That was just, I was just like, oh my God, she's just on off the rocker now. She's pulling a gun on a woman who has expensive handbags and clothes, you know? And just, it was, yeah, you can see that she is very lost, and that if she winds up in the wrong situation, she could wind up getting, you know, a bullet between the two eyes as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it going well for her at all.
Yeah, honestly, this week when they were doing the whole preview and hype, as I like to call it, and I thought, oh my gosh, somebody's gonna die. Quinn was on my list because I thought, you know, there's a character that I could see getting killed off.
A lot of people
because
wanna
she
see
does
Quinn
stupid
go.
things. But,
Okay, well, you
I don't
know
know
what
that I want to see her go, but I could see them doing it. I want them to. I mean, I want her to find what she's looking for, because obviously Quinn has been in search of identity since we've met her, basically. You know, 'cause she, you know, went from being Lindsay Dwyer to being Quinn Perkins, and, you know, dealing with her past and all this other stuff. And a lot of that because of what Olivia did, which I think is where Olivia's sense of responsibility towards Quinn comes from.
Right.
You know, like,
Sure.
you know, a lot of Quinn's life got screwed up because of defiance. And so, you know, Olivia feels the need to, you know, kind of repair that, which she should, you know. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't know. I guess I'm going to be interested to kind of see what steps Olivia takes now, because obviously, you know, she asked Jake not to use Quinn, but that's not going to happen because Quinn is proving to be useful. So, I mean,
Correct.
it's going to be B613 now, and I guess we'll see what that's going to do to her.
I think Jake is going to start doing the opposite of anything Olivia asks of him now. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
He's not going to honor her anymore. But I wanted to say what I thought was going to happen in the episode that was going to be the big, oh my God moment, is I thought Sally was going to kill herself on live camera during the debate. That's what I thought.
I definitely thought she was going to confess.
Wouldn't that have been, whoa.
That would have been some mess.
Yeah. So
let's talk about Crazy Sally, y'all, because, I mean, the beginning of the episode when she was, like, doing her, like, crazy debate, like, where she just was losing it. I mean, it was just crazy. And it was so obvious that she was really talking to herself, you know, that she's basically displacing that anger and all of those issues that she has with her own self, and she's putting that on Fitz. But
full psychotic break.
She was breaking down. I mean, obviously. So.
But I think that's I kind of felt the same. I said she's going to go out there and kill herself. She can't cope with the guilt anymore. She's just going, you know, kill herself right there. I didn't think she would confess. I really thought she was going to do something even crazier, like kill herself.
Yeah.
She was really, you know, I mean, he got the priest in to talk to her, and when the priest came up to his face, it just looked like he had done an exorcism or something. You can have her, she's good now. Don't call me anymore, you know.
Yeah, but, you know, when Sally got it to her, you know, I mean, granted, she had a psychotic breakdown during that debate prep. But honestly, when she was sitting down and she was speaking with the minister, you know, after the fact, and Lewis came in and spoke to her, she was really preaching. I mean, I just sat there and I was just like, wow. She is truly preaching, because, you know, and she's right. If you don't hear that voice, or you don't feel that closeness or that relationship with God anymore, then you're already dead. There's no point. So I need to do what I need to do and confess my sins so that I can again be in His graces, because that was so important to her. I mean, you really saw where her faith was. In that regard. But what was interesting to me is how quickly she snapped back at the debate. When Fitz
the minute it turned on to Fitz's feelings, she was there. Like,
was it just an act or what? You know?
She needed a sign. She got it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was her
Through
sign.
the debate, he threw
Can
it.
I tell you though, I was so, and I talked about this in my review, just like because I'm a Christian, right? And I feel like a lot of times when there's a Christian character on television, they are that sadistic character. So they're either
Right.
extremely judgmental, they're wackadoodle, which obviously she's been since she killed her
Right.
husband, and the whole devil made me do it crap.
Mhm.
And even the thought for her that Sally bounced back, and Olivia knew she would because she needed a sign from God. She needed to feel like, okay, God was giving her some help. But then she would think that God's gonna help her by helping her to like judge someone else because of their sins. I mean, it's a little frustrating as a Christian person because I feel like a lot of times
That's a whole
people make
That's a whole
make
nother
up their
podcast.
own God in their mind, who they think God is, and this is my God. My God is this judgmental damnation type of God, and so that's what I'm gonna, serve up to people. And I mean, that's what Sally does in her whole, in everything.
Yeah.
She's just crazy. She's
Yep.
just crazy, basically, is what she is.
She is, but
But
I'm wondering.
I was excited that she bounced back because obviously she did a good shot.
She's
What were you
phenomenal
gonna say, Trisha?
in those characters. She was fantastic as Mama Gray. She's fantastic in this role. I mean, she is bringing it. She brings it
Yeah, she
every
really
week.
is. She totally
That
is.
episode, yeah.
And I guess Jake was listening too because obviously Secret Service agent Tom, who I can't handle him like doing B613 things,
Yeah,
but
that's weird.
obviously he was getting ready to take her out, which would have been kind of crazy. But what do you guys? Let's talk about Tom for a second. What do you guys think about? Okay, so Tom is the Secret Service agent who is supposedly B613. I had a lot of people a couple of weeks ago on my review leave theories that they thought it was possible that Tom was playing both sides.
Yeah.
You know, that Tom was possibly
I
still
think-
working with Fitz, but being kind of like a double agent to some degree. What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I think
I
so.
agree with you. I thought that was likely possible.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's
I think that's a possibility for sure too. You can't trust anybody up in there.
No.
the only one that he's been able to trust is Tom. So, I mean, honestly, he thought he could trust Jake, but, he's responsible, and he said it so himself, that he was responsible for bringing him to his house. He thought it was somebody he could trust. And right now, Tom is the only one that he can trust. And honestly, I should probably say this, but when you tweet Brian, he's so funny. Who the character of Tom on SSSA Tom Brian Lester. When you talk to him on Twitter, he's just so funny. The way that he responds. Well, am I? Am I good? Am I bad? I don't know.
That's funny.
Because of course he's beloved by all of us gladiators because he's so funny. But and don't forget to watch him tonight on Crisis because he's on Crisis tonight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I still think, I honestly think that that there's a bigger picture there with him and Fitz.
Definitely.
I don't think everyone thinks that he's out of control or he doesn't have any control, but I think that he is still very much involved in what's going on, and Tom is working both sides.
Gotcha. And I can see that totally, especially when you think about the fact in season 1 that it was Tom who actually told Fitz where the cameras were, and so he almost kind of warned him a little bit of, hey, don't forget. But obviously we've got, audio and so, what you're saying is not going to be deleted out. So there you go.
I know I came in late, but I just had a quick question. Did anyone see the similarities between these last couple of episodes with season 2 at all? Of 211, 212, any of those?
What do you mean?
Particularly the breakdown that Olivia had, going to Jake's. That was the same, equivalent to her breakdown with Defiance when she laid in bed, talking about making jam and all that great stuff. And she chose Fitz then too. The previous episode where, she was doing the countdown with Fitz, and I thought about that, it kind of all came back. But the countdown that she did with Fitz about the 1, 2, 3, she did that with Edison. Back in what 211?
Oh,
or
Edison.
She did the countdown there, and then also the what was the other scene? There was something else too. Oh, about the Cyrus's monologue to Jake about protecting the Republic and all that great stuff. And then was it 213 where he talked about this, the Republic, the American people have still believe in Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, and that whole great thing. It was the same thing again. So I just didn't know if everyone else had caught that.
I hadn't caught that.
I
Now that
didn't.
you bring it out, that's kind of interesting.
If you go back and watch that, if you watch 211, and there was another particular similarity too that I had picked out, but I forgot exactly what it is. But if you go back and watch that, you'll see in between 311 313, and you'll see between 211 and 213. There's a lot of similarities in the way things are going down.
Ooh,
I feel like Shonda Rhimes is really good at kind of drawing that thread in between, like episodes or even seasons, and like dropping things and little things, hints, and not just hints, but like even the whole like Vermont thing. Like, I mean, we had that episode, however many episodes ago, but how many times have we heard the Vermont word dropped, and Vermont has its own kind of meaning now, and so.
I'm sure you talked about that scene with Olivia and Fitz there in the.
Say what do you want to talk? We can talk more about it. It's always good.
And another gladiator that I was speaking to yesterday brought this up, but again, here's the thing about the wardrobe. Olivia was wearing pink when she saw him. It wasn't white, it wasn't gray, it wasn't black, it was color pink. So could that be an acceptance of the love, maybe, that she, that they're not pretending that they're together. They understand that it's always been about them. I mean, that's what was on the trail, how it was. So we were thinking that maybe that was something that, kind of stood out. What was the other thing? Gosh, there were so many different, the fact that, she said not pretend, and Melly is all about pretending. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So we were
good point.
Some things we were kind of picking out on that scene, but we thought it was interesting about her clothing. From Apollo, it's all about the clothing and exactly how it intertwines with the theme of what the scene is about. So
ever since you said that, I totally have started paying attention to that, like what color people are wearing. Because I think one of the big ones for me was that, what is it, last episode where Melly walks in on Fitz and Olivia making out in the Oval Office, and she's dressed in green. It was just kind of like, I'm starting to pay attention to what people are wearing. I'm getting way too deep with this whole scandal business.
It is. It's ridiculous.
That's serious gladiating investigative, man. You guys are up there.
But seriously, with Melly wearing pearls when she's feeling like the first lady versus the jewelry, when she's not wearing pearls, watch out, things like that. You kind of notice.
You know what I was thinking about too when I was thinking about that, because I don't always pay attention to clothing, but I do pay attention to lighting. That's something I always notice. So I don't know if you guys noticed the scene a couple episodes ago, the cliffhanger, when we realized that Adnan Salif is working with Mama Poe. When they actually flash to her in the room, and you realize that is who Adnan Salif is talking to, she is like bathed in this really kind of like, I think it's like a dark bluish greenish light. Yeah. And I just remember watching that and thinking like, okay, that's supposed to mean something, and I'm not quite sure. What does that mean? Why is she sitting in the dark and like, with the colors around her? Like,
but it's also with the music as well. The music.
Yes, very much so. And I noticed that.
I mean,
yeah, but it's those little subtle things in the dress that that just really kind of stands out to me. So
the music, Deirdre, like that scene, the scene between Olivia and Quinn, when they were sitting in the car, when Olivia catches her doing her, that's the other thing. Quinn is the B613 agent who gets caught doing surveillance, really.
Yeah.
But when she catches her and they're in the car. Yeah, exactly. When she pulls out the gun, the music, I mean, like the whole scene, the music is like really frantic, but then it gets to this point where it's like starts to like build and build, and you're thinking something's gonna happen, and it was just like, I think they do such a good job of that, which is just, and I love stuff like that. It's just like an added element. It always reminds me of when I saw The Sixth Sense for the first time, right, you guys? And after I saw that movie, I was so angry at myself because during the movie, well, maybe I shouldn't give it away for people who haven't seen it. Spoiler alert. But during the movie, I just remember thinking the whole time I kept noticing his shirt. Like, he's wearing this blue shirt, and I kept, oh, that's a really nice shirt. Why is he wearing that shirt again? You know, and then you get to the end and you realize it's because he's dead. But, too, when we watch that movie, there are certain scenes that are, like, in certain colors. Like, when he's in a scene, it's a certain, like, the screen is, I mean, it's just so, like, I love stuff like that because I think it's just, like, your mind kind of picks up on that even to some degree, I think, and it's like, yeah, deepness. Love it, love it.
Well,
Scandal does a really good job of that, I feel like, which is... Yeah. Let's talk about, we talked about James and why he's so annoying and why I feel like I want him to be the one that got shot, but let's talk about that scene between him and Cyrus, you guys, where, you know, Cyrus realizes that James has planted a bug in his office because the bug is cheap or whatever and starts ringing or interfering with his phone. Yeah, in the picture frame. And so that moment when Cyrus goes home and, you know, has that confrontational moment with James and you think he's going to be Cyrus and, like, go off, but he just does the weepy Cyrus thing and it's just pretty much like, hey, I love you and I know I've done, you know, Cyrus knows he screwed up. And he just pretty much is like, you know, do what you have to do, right? So I was so annoyed with James, right? Because you get that all James really wanted was an apology. James doesn't really care about what Cyrus did and about, you know, the Republic. James just really wants to get apologized to. So I don't know. What did you guys think about that scene?
But, you know, I think it's typical James. He's so not smart, you know? I mean, he's thinking about his little person, and he's not thinking about the implications of all these things that are going on that he knows full well can be very serious. I mean, he saw, you know, what was going on with the election fixing and everything. He's just naive, and he's only destined to be shot just for being stupid. Shoot him just for that.
You cannot fix stupid. Cannot fix stupid. I think James doesn't realize exactly what it takes to be, you know, to be in this position or to have these responsibilities. And I think he has this romantic vision that, you know, that he's able to, you know, that the reason why they live the lives that they do and you know, he is the way that he is because, you know, somehow, you know, my bad monster husband, you know, does this and I can scare him and fix him and make it all better. But he doesn't realize the consequences that it takes. And he's about to find out.
But he's also thinking that his husband's the only bad person.
Exactly.
It's almost like he's only thinking about the two of them. He's not thinking, good Lord, man, you could get yourself killed, you know, and nobody else other than Cyrus.
Right.
I think Cyrus is a master manipulator, and he knows exactly what to do and what to say at the right moment and how to handle his husband.
Absolutely.
I mean, he just said, okay, at this point, I think he is truly sorry for what has happened.
Sure.
But I think it's more about, okay, how am I going to get out of this and what am I going to do? Yeah. And he was absolutely just telling him everything that he needed to hear. Because he did that last season as well. That one where they got down to the boxers. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is just playing him and playing him. And they're doing this dance. And they're going back and forth and back and forth. And my God, I don't know how it's all going to end with them, but
looks like he's going to have to get a babysitter for that cute little baby they got.
You know,
it's true. We know that Cyrus loves James. I mean, he does.
Yes.
But James is a weakness. He cannot have, you know, he can't have that. And once you can't trust the person, to Cyrus, you're disposable, and that's exactly what James is now.
Right.
Yeah, but I think it's also mostly because James has never, ever really understood Cyrus at all. He's never understood to what extent he will go to for his job.
He does not want to believe that his husband is the monster he really is.
Exactly. And so he's sort of like trying to convince himself, but at the same time he's sort of playing around with it, like putting the bug in the picture.
He certainly didn't think it through. I mean, he certainly didn't. I mean, obviously he didn't think it through. So
I was like running around trying to play Nancy Drew or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on now.
He does not get him. He doesn't accept him for who he is. He still is still shocked at all the things that he does, and we're just like, what? That's normal, you know.
I think that was an insult to
That's your husband.
I just want to say that because James wishes he was Nancy Drew. He's not that good.
Oh, poor James.
Yeah, poor James.
Poor James. I don't know. I just felt like, I mean, it feels like Cyrus genuinely realizes that he screwed up. Like, you know, and not just because he got caught. You know, it definitely feels like, because I feel like there are other times when Cyrus is trying to be like, I'm sorry. That seems so fake because you know he's not really sorry. He's just sorry he got caught. This time he genuinely seems like, okay, I seriously screwed this up. You know, especially, you know, that moment in the office when Olivia tells him, like, you know, we promised Fitz, we owed him, you know, a clean run, and you have dirtied the water already. Like, we just started and you've already screwed it up. And, and you get, you know, that Cyrus realizes that. So I wonder what that's, you know, because now that Fitz knows about that, I really wonder what that's going to do to him and Cyrus. Although obviously he knows what Cyrus is capable of, but
house with him, Fitz already doesn't trust Cyrus anyway. Now he's not going to trust him.
I mean, ever since Defiance, he definitely does not trust Cyrus. No, I couldn't see how he could.
No.
I mean, if he's already out, he realizes that he needs Cyrus to a point, and the reason why he has Cyrus is because he can keep Cyrus close. I truly believe that's the only reason. He doesn't want anything to do with he wants nothing to do with Hollis or his money. He doesn't want anything to do with you know with Cyrus to a degree, but he knows you know Cyrus again trying to keep him close. He's in love with Olivia. You know he can't Ellie. I mean, he's divorced in his mind from them emotionally. But who else was part of that? Yeah, everyone. And Verna's dead. He took care of that one.
And Verna's dead.
Woo, Lord, he took care of her.
Poor Verna. I want to read one of the comments that somebody left on YouTube. PLA Turner says, James is in an abusive relationship. And if you've gotten beaten down so many times, your mind gets weak. I think people are a little too hard on James. Which I do think James is in the worst relationship he could possibly be in.
Yeah, certainly.
And James knows who his husband is, unfortunately, at this point, and it's like he needs to leave, but will he? I mean, I remember that, you know, kind of confrontation or argument they had when James confronted Cyrus about pimping him out to the vice president's husband, and Cyrus told him, like, you know, you're not going to leave. Like, you're going to just, you know, throw your little fit and do whatever you're going to do, but we both know you're not going anywhere. You know, you're not going to actually do it. So I guess we'll see. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, I feel like Trisha, I mean, you jumped in towards the end. Was there any other, you want to talk about who got shot?
What about Rowan and
oh, that's right.
The vice president, campaign manager.
Yeah.
Rowan and Leo. So Rowan, I feel like Rowan's pretty much just trying to screw Fitz is what Rowan's trying to do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, it just felt... to get his job back.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's true. So
his only way to do that is through, through Sally's campaign.
Sally becoming president, yeah.
Right. So that's in his best interest at this point, and yes, he wants to bring down Fitz. So, but again, he's not an advocate for his daughter or anything. So I mean that relationship is dead as far as he's concerned. I hope she realizes that too now. But
I feel like she keeps trying. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. She keeps like.
Yeah, but she's using it for information as well.
How kids have this kind of idealistic view of their parents, even when they screw up, and
Yeah.
She was
She's
using
trying
him.
to make him your daddy when he's really not.
That relationship is dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
She was just using him for information.
Yeah, that's what it felt like too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have yet to figure out what Mama Pope is up to.
But does anybody think Mama Pope has another daughter?
Huh.
Huh.
I
Does
never even thought
anybody
about
think that
that.
maybe Adnan Salik could be a daughter
Oh,
from another union?
That's a very good
never know.
That's a good theory,
Because
Deirdre.
she's been around, you know.
So I don't think that Mama Pope meant to have a child. I mean, the only reason why she even got married to Rowan was because she wanted to be close to his information, so she could have,
Exactly. But who's
secrets.
to say that she didn't have a daughter already from another marriage or something?
No, she totally could. She totally could. It's a really good
Because we
theory.
don't know enough about her. We just know that she's been to the Middle East before.
Or even what she's. Well, we know she was locked up after she left, but
And then she was
yeah, no, you're right.
locked up. But we don't know it. We don't know a lot about her background and why these two would be hooked together. I don't know. Well, we don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we don't know what they're up to yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see. Well, we're going to see Harrison, next time, so we'll see what's up with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of odd because everybody was saying they wondered what was going on with Harrison and how everybody was assuming that Adnan Salik would be a man.
I
Right.
was.
He walked in
did.
and then
Yeah.
they just started doing the nasty right there on the desk. I was like,
Well,
this
and
is
I was so annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Like, because it just killed the whole hype, you got, how afraid he was
yeah.
when
The
he
fear
started
was
talking
gone.
about this Adnan Salif, and then all of a sudden it's like, you're afraid because you're going to have sex? I'm confused. I don't understand this.
Like, come on now. I mean, the fear was
It doesn't
real.
make any
until she walked
sense.
through the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, that girl has something over him. Obviously.
Yeah.
That he's scared.
I mean, obviously, he's afraid of what she wants him to do, and she offers him that whole briefcase of money and blah blah blah. But I just thought that was a strange reaction to fear, and it just felt like they were trying to throw Harrison a bone, literally.
Well, she did by saying something like, "Okay, you think she doesn't know about that you've done other stuff besides insider trading. You've done other stuff. I don't know what is it, murder."
Obviously, we need to know about that. And then, of course, now we saw the sneak peek where she's now saying that she wants to get out. What's that about?
What? Wait, tell me what the sneak peek was.
Did you not sneak with him where she goes to meet Harrison in the garage? Have you all not seen it yet? Well, it was leaked the day after. And it's probably because everyone was like, "What happened to Harrison?" We didn't get any more information on that. And they meet in the parking garage, and she tells him,
Harrison
"I need."
And Adnan Salif?
Yeah, Adnan, meet in the parking garage, and he tells her that, or she tells him that, I need help. Basically, if I wanted to get out or if I wanted to leave, but she was so nervous because she saw a car go by. Check it out. It's a sneak peek that just came out. It was on Scandal. And,
so now she wants to get out. Okay.
Well, that's what she's saying, but who knows what that means?
We don't trust her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't.
Exactly.
And then, of course, they also sneaked the photo with Andrew and Melly, so we'll be able to get a little bit more of what that was about.
Oh, they're definitely going to do.
There was wine. There was snacks on the table. There was leaning in. So we'll see what's going on with that.
Leaning in.
Leaning in words. So we'll see.
Hey, that's major on Scandal for Melly.
Well, the thing is, Melly hasn't gotten any since last season, so I'm sure she's desperate about right now.
And honestly,
Melly needs to get some.
Seriously, and I
Melly
with Fitz. Yeah, because the last time we know that she had it was not very good.
No.
Poor Melly.
Yeah,
poor Melly.
I have a new.
Well, ladies, is there anything else you want to talk about before we adieu?
No, I'm good.
I thought it was a good episode. I mean, I definitely was a little let down because the OMG moment was not all that OMG.
Thought it would be better.
Fingers crossed that it's James that got shot. And yeah, I guess we'll be finding out next week. So, As always, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out and watching Scandal Chat with us. We appreciate all your comments and questions, and we tried to answer. I think we answered most. So, yeah, keep them in, you guys. If you've missed any of the chat, it'll be loaded in full on my YouTube channel in a little bit, and then also there'll be links for all of these lovely ladies. You can go follow them on Twitter, and Deirdre has a fantastic YouTube channel about books. People, if you like to read, you should check that out. And you're welcome. And yeah, we'll see you guys again soon. You guys don't hang up. Hey, don't hold on.
Bye, everyone.
But goodbye. We're saying goodbye. Bye. See you next week. Maybe.